Hello and welcome to another episode of Bum with a Wrench. I'm your host Daniel, and this is the 1966 7-liter, as we all know. So my plan on this episode is going to be to remove the air conditioning. So I need to get everything out of this car so I can get ready to take the stuff out of the donor car. I still haven't had a chance to get the convertible down to the DMV because I'm not sure when this one's going to come out, but when I was doing the kind of will it run, tune up on the convertible to make it to where I could get it to the DMV, one of the things I didn't see, and you probably saw very clearly, was that it was arcing horribly against the passenger side inner fender. That starter solenoid was absolutely shot, and it was actually arcing to the inner fender well. From sitting inside the car, I couldn't see anything. All I was hearing was click, 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 click. Well, that click, click was the arcing against the fender, and of course the starter wasn't getting the power that it needed to go ahead and turn the engine over. Sorry, you have to excuse me a little bit. I got a cold I picked up from my son, not for my son. So I'm battling that a little bit, but you still got work to do. You can't take days off, too much stuff going on. So I'm here in the shop, I'm recording. So what I did was I ordered a couple of these relays, starter solenoids, and I needed one for my car. I don't know if you saw in that episode with this last one with the fuel and that kind of stuff that I did. I broke that up into 3 segments: fuel, power steering, and then the last segment's going to be brakes, which I'm still working on the brakes side of that segment. But there's a lot of electrical on the side right there that's tied into that starter solenoid. I need to get that cleaned up on my car, so I ordered one for my car. And I ordered one for that convertible. Obviously, that one needs it horribly, especially with all of those gas fumes you saw coming up out of the carburetor. This thing's sparking over here. All kinds of craziness going on. How that car didn't burst into a big ball of fire, I have no idea. But the cool part about doing this show is that's something I would have never seen, but I saw it because I was doing the editing. So, long story short, I'm waiting to get that part so that I can get that car down to the DMV without it catching on fire. So in the meantime, I do need to get the air conditioning out of this car. So to do that, what I'm going to do is take this fender off. I got to take the bumper off. I got to take the hood hinge out here off. That'll strip this whole side down. The reason I need to take this side down is because the heater box is up in that corner over there. The only way to access it is to take this fender off. As much as I don't want to, that's what I have to do. So, I'm not sure exactly how this episode's going to go because all of this stuff is extremely boring, but I need to get it done, and I don't want to keep you guys out of the loop because, the progression of the car. So, I'm probably going to end up doing a lot of high speed on this part, and you'll probably see me step off the camera a couple times, but we need to get this done. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set you back over here off to the side, and then I'm just going to start taking this car apart. Obviously, I'm going to be easy with it because it is a very clean, very nice car. So I got to go easy with it, but at the same time, I need to get those parts out. So sit back, relax, enjoy me running around like a, high-speed chipmunk. So.
two.
All right, that was quick. Well, at least for you guys. So the fender's off the car. I wanted to slow it down for a second here and kind of just show you what it looks like without that fender, because it shows a lot more of that heater and air conditioning box. And then I can kind of explain operation a little bit better, especially now that I have a perfect one outside that's never been touched. So I know exactly where all the vacuum lines go. I know exactly how everything operates. Done a lot of inspection on that car. So let me get you in here. So you can see here, got the vacuum can that just runs over to the manifold. Got a vacuum tee coming off that. That's basically going to run over into the car. It's going to operate a lot of the vacuum that needs to be done. You'll notice that there is a vacuum here. This is the heater control valve. And like I was saying before in the other episode, this part here, it does come across here and plugs right into the heater control valve. And so what happens is as you request that hot air, this valve is going to open up, allowing that vacuum to pass, and then open this valve, which then in turn is going to let the coolant flow to the heater core, which is over here in the corner. Now you can kind of see why I had to get that fender off, because I got to get to that box. And getting in here, and you can see things like this crack right here. You can see it's been glued just like the other one. It's some kind of like construction adhesive or something. I'm noticing on the camera that it actually looks in better shape than it actually is. But you got these oddball screws hanging out a mile long, the wrong hardware going into the body, again painted black. So there's nothing really wrong with this, and I'll clean the glue up. There's supposed to be a seal in here, like a squishy seal. There's a company out of Michigan that's I think they're using a plotter and cutting them out, but you can order them for different cars. They make one for this car. So I'll get that order. I'll probably order 2 of them so that I can put this back into the convertible. So that's what this looks like when you get that all apart. Again, this is not in horrible shape, but being that this is a rare car, it deserves to have the really best of parts that I can find for it. So that's what we're going to do. So I explained that. That's exactly how that works. I was looking at this vacuum bulb here, and it ties into the main vacuum. Well, there's 2 vacuum lines. I think there's the one that goes across from the vacuum can here, this nice high quality Folgers can that Ford used. Goes over, and then it goes into the car, and then it comes out. Then it goes, where was it? It teed off. One of them went here to this vacuum bulb. Oh, and I think the other one went here. So I think as you requested hot, it would go and turn this on and then move this door to the closed position for hot, and then open, I think that's open, is for on. And then the other thing I wasn't sure about, which would make a little bit of sense on this as well, not so much closing the door, but more or less turning that compressor off, if this was connected to the main vacuum system and it saw a loss of vacuum due to wide open throttle from the engine, it would turn the pump off, which in turn would give you more power. Now, I'm not sure if that's exactly how it works. I'm gonna have to get this all together and then do a little bit of testing to see. But on modern cars, that's what happens. When you're cruising along, you're having a good time, whatever, talking with your buddy in the car, and some dude pulls up next to you, and you know, you both just, I mean, all the way to the floor. What's going to happen is the computer is going to see that wide open throttle event and go, oh, this person wants to move now and immediately. So it starts shutting processes off that it doesn't need, like air conditioning. It'll kill that AC pump for, you know, however long, whatever the programming is, to allow that energy to actually pass through the engine and back to the rear wheels. So it gives you that little bit of more power when you need it. Now, I'm not sure if that's exactly what that does, but that would be kind of cool if it did. I'm gonna have to look into that some more. But you can really see a little bit more without that fender on. I'm gonna go ahead and drop this hood hinge off because it's just gonna make things a little bit easier getting in here. But next step is to remove the evaporator box and remove the heater box. So let me get doing that and we'll see how it looks. All right, it is next day here in the shop. As you can see behind me, I got the evaporator box out of it. So a couple things to think about when you're doing a job like this is looking down inside the cavities down in here that you normally wouldn't have access to. And you can find stuff like this. Kind of looks like a cat turd, but what it is it's a piece of seam sealer from back in the 60s. This actually went down on the passenger side over there and was blocking one of the drain ports. The water would go down and go through. So good idea to kind of just take a look around when you're got stuff apart and see what you can clean up, see what you can wipe down, and definitely check on drain ports and doors and, you know, and cowling, that kind of stuff, so that you can really make sure that when you're done, your car's in really good shape and you're not going to have any rust problems going forward. So down in there, let me get the light for you. So down in there is where I found that. And what we're looking at right here, that is the fresh air door. So that's that would bring fresh air into the car. The heater box sits right here, and so the fan is blows on that door right there. And so the heater box is right there. So that's the port where the fan would actually blow into the heater box, and then that would blow into the car. That's where the fan actually sits, and that's the AC. That's where all the air conditioning goes. And so right in here is where I was talking to you before, was about that door that closes and opens to allow the fan to blow onto the air conditioning. And so now that I've got all the outside apart, what I need to do now is go to the inside and take all of these spots out, take that box out, take all which is connected to this, I think. And then this is all one big piece right here. And basically I need to remove all of that, remove all of the ducting on the inside. I'm going to remove probably the controls for the HVAC so that I can actually inspect all of that stuff. Make sure that it's connected correctly, make sure that it's operating and functioning the way it should. A lot of this stuff is vacuum controlled, so I want to start doing vacuum tests on the controls to make sure that all the vacuum stuff is actually working correctly. When I was just underneath there, I noticed that a couple of the vacuum lines weren't even connected. So this probably wasn't going to blow cold air very well, being that the doors and that kind of stuff won't actuate the way they're supposed to. So I'm going to take all of that stuff out, again being very careful. And then one, because I don't want to hurt the car, and then two, I really don't want to hurt these boxes that are coming out, even though they're not going to go back into the car. I'm going to clean them up. They're probably going to go into the convertible, and if they don't go into the convertible, then I'm going to clean them up and I'm going to put them on eBay or something like that. Got a lot of Ford connections, so maybe there's a Ford guy out there that really wants a box. Box is in horrible shape, like I showed you. Here, I can show you the box. This is actually the heater box here, and so you can see that when it sits in the car, this is all the way to the passenger side. It's upside down, and then this is the part that goes on the inside. So the fan is going to blow into here, which is going to pass that air through here, and then it's going to come out down by your feet. And so that's the heater. Now I do have a new heater core, and so I haven't taken this one out yet, but you can see a lot of the glue and everything, how they put this thing together. This is supposed to be in 2 pieces, so I'm going to take some time and separate that. I can't even get this out until I separate this, so that's going to be a headache. I need to go in right now and order the seal kit, which isn't very much. I think I was talking about that before. This guy in Michigan, or company in Michigan, does it. So I'm going to order a couple seal kits because I have 2 of these now. This is the air conditioning. So obviously this is the fan, got the squirrel cage on the inside. This is that door. So actually now is a good time to kind of see. So this would be like if you're on the inside of the car looking toward this box. This is the top, this is the bottom, so you're oriented correctly. And that door is right here. So I guess this way is closed off. So all the way up against that switch is closed off, and then open would allow this air to flow into here, which would blow across this and then blow out the vents. So it is kind of interesting though. Oh, okay, it lets it, because you got to remember the firewall's right here. So it lets it into this cavity, which then blows this way. So it's actually making a turn and coming back in. Here you can see that's that thermostatic switch. All it does is stick down into here, and it goes probably down to around here somewhere, about halfway on the evaporator. And then these are all the controls, like we were talking about before. So a lot of stuff to this. I'm still, this switch right here really kind of just, I mean, I understand what it's for. When you close off the air conditioner, you don't want the pump to run. So I don't know. I'll have to think about it some more, let my brain crunch on those numbers. But as you can see, some of the stock foam and stuff. So this is to keep, because down here we have drains. There's 2 drains down here. There's one right here. I ordered these from Classic Industries, the drain tubes. So down here we have drains, and so they wanted to put a seal so that that outside air didn't come back up and affect anything in here. Well, I mean, it still can, because even a side seal right here means that it can come up through the evaporator here, but you want to try and reduce the amount of air that's being affected by the outside. So over here, the foam was a little bit small, so I just took some packing foam and made my own seal right there, which you'd never know, you'd never see it, it'd never bother anything, and it'd work perfect. So anytime you're putting something together like this, just because the stock part doesn't quite do what you need it to do, doesn't mean you can't just throw something in there and make it work. Nobody'd ever know that would even be there, and it would help the performance of the air conditioner. So that's that box out. Again, you can see the glue. There's some spots in here that are cracked pretty good. It doesn't look too good. So will it work? Yeah, it's just fine. But for a rare car that you want to be really nice, you can see the chip up here. So it's gonna look really nice when I'm done. So that's that. That's all out. That's all out. Got both pieces out of the car successfully without damaging the car. Now I'm going to take the inside out. we'll inspect those and see what's going on there. And then after that, we need to go out and take apart the convertible. All right, guys, I did a little bit of work off camera, just trying to get this process done. I need to get this really kind of buttoned up. So it's been quite a bit of time. I can't count how many times I've had this car apart, fixing stuff. It's time that it goes back together, and gets done and finished, and so the car can go out and get enjoyed and or sold. I don't know. But either way, so got all of the front end off, like you saw. Got the exterior of the box off, and then now off camera, what I did was actually went in and disassembled the inside, which required me to take the seats out, take the center console out, to get that airbox out of the inside. And I found quite a few problems on the inside of the car that I didn't see and didn't know about. So this is actually a pretty good process. One of the things I noticed is that somebody has, it was probably part of the carpet kit, but it's got this really kind of thick firewall insulation that's causing an issue with the airbox, because that's not supposed to be there. And so what's happening is that's holding the airbox off of the firewall, and that's what causes somebody to put those gigantic lag bolts through the firewall. So I'm gonna have to trim and cut and basically remove that to get this to actually fit right and operate the way it should, which it was jamming up all of these vent tubes and that kind of stuff. This one got destroyed and was wrapped with electrical tape, which is not good. And so this is going to be like one of the last things that really gets done with this car, because everything else is in such good condition. It was really just kind of lacking the air conditioning. But this is the inside of the airbox out of the car. And so obviously, I couldn't get to these vacuum bulbs, but now I can. So a couple things I noticed right off the bat is, they replaced this one vacuum line here, but all of these are rotted so badly that they're just no good. This one, in fact, it's this one here, is so stiff that you can't even plug anything into it without the vacuum line just completely blowing up. So this one was horrible. Now I've tested these. These two actually work, and if you don't have one of these, this is a great tool to get. It's just a vacuum bleeder. It pulls vacuum. I think it's made for brakes so you can bleed brakes on your own without having to have somebody there. But these work great for pulling vacuum. So what I did is, you'll notice that this bulb and this bulb here are connected together via this T. So when I put vacuum to this line, it completely, it wouldn't hold vacuum at all. So I pinched this bulb off and then did it again, and this bulb actually works. When I pinched this bulb off and checked this bulb doesn't work. And if you go onto this side, this one controls a door that opens and closes to the heater. This one is the floor, so this blows down to the floor. This one over here transfers the air to the air box, I think. It works in conjunction with the one on the outside right here. So of course, in order to have everything operating correctly, all these have to work the way they're supposed to. So this bulb I need to find new. I need to put all brand new vacuum lines on there. But remember, I'm not going to use this airbox. I'm using the one out of the 65 convertible. So I'm not too concerned about this stuff right now. I've just taken it out of the car. I'm going to put it off to the side. And you can see on this one as well that it's got the silicone sealing the different compartments and stuff, which is incorrect, and makes it extremely hard to operate and work on. So restoring that one's going to be a little bit of a chore, but I'm not worried about that right now. I have the one that I need out there in the 65 convertible. So that's going to be the solution. Today, I am going to go and deal with finish up the registration on that car. I need to get that done because I'm at the point now where I need to get that airbox out of that car so that I can get it into this car. I still got a little bit of prep work to do on this car before it can go in, but the main focus right now is I need to get it out of that car. So I'm going to figure out a way to get it over to get the VIN inspection done. Once I get the okay on the registration, I'll start disassembly on that one and get it into this car so I can get that done. But that's going to do it for this episode, I think, for right now. Next episode on this car is going to be probably me taking the airbox out of the 65 convertible. This will probably be, a couple episodes before this one is done, buttoned up. I still have fuel injection to finish. I got a little bit of wiring to do, and I still have to fix that captured nut on the front fender. So there's still a little bit of work to do on this car. This car, once it's done, I don't know what's going to happen with it. It might stay around, it might get sold, I don't know. But for now, I just need to focus on getting it fixed because there's no point in actually doing any of this work in replacing the AC parts if when you go to turn it on, you get the heater and the AC blowing at the same time. That's basically no AC. So what's the point in doing any of this and fixing the AC at all if you're never going to get cold air? So fixing this correctly and getting it done right, getting everything operable is really going to give it that ice cold air conditioning and that nice hot air, depending on what season you're in. So that's the important part of this. But for now, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Share this video. I would really appreciate it. I'm just trying to get out there and get known. So thank you all for watching, and until next time.